19 and 20 kind friends, and the great world's war we have won. Old Kaiser Bill, we've beat him once again in the smoke of the cannon and the gun. Old von Hindenburg and his Royal German Army, they are tramps in tatters and in rags. Uncle Sammy has tied every nation in this world in his long old leather money bags. Wilson caught a trip and a train into Paris, meeting Lord George and Mr. Clemenceau. They said to Mr. Wilson, we've staked off our claims, there is nothing else for you. I plowed more lands, I built bigger factories, and I stopped Hindenburg in his tracks. You thank the Yanks by claiming all the lands, but you still owe your money to my bank. Keep sending your ships across these waters, we'll borrow all the money you can lend. We must buy new clothes, new plows and factories, and we need golden dollars for to spend. Every dollar in the world, well, it rolled and it rolled and it rolled into Uncle Sammy's door. A few got richer and richer and richer, but the poor folks kept a-getting poor. Well, the workers in the world did fight a revolution to chase out the gamblers from their land. Farmers and peasants and workers in the city fought together on their 5-year plans. Soul and the spirit of the workers' revolution spread across every nation in this world. From Italy to China to Europe and to India, and the blood of the workers it did spill. This spirit split the wind to Boston, Massachusetts, with the Coolidge on the governor's chair. Troopers and soldiers, the guards and the spies fought the workers that brought the spirit there. Sacco and Vanzetti had preached to the workers, they was carried up to old Judge Thayer. They was charged with killing the payroll guards, and they died in the Charlestown chair. Well, the world shook harder on the night they died than was shaken by that great world war. More millions did march for Sacco and Vanzetti than did march for the great warlords. Well, the peasants, the farmers, the towns and the cities, and the hills and the valleys, they did ring. Hindenburg and Wilson and Harding, Hoover, Coolidge never heard this many voices sing. The zigzag lightning, the rumbles of the thunder, and the singing of the clouds blowing by. The flood and the storm for Sacco and Vanzetti caused the rich man to pull his hair and cry. Say there, did you hear the news? Sacco worked at trimming shoes. Vanzetti was a peddling man, pushed his fish cart with his hand. Two good men a long time gone. Two good men a long time gone. Sacco and Vanzetti are gone. They left me here to sing this song. Sacco's born across the sea, somewhere over in Italy. Vanzetti born of parents fine, drank the best Italian wine. Sacco sailed to sea one day, landed up in the Boston Bay. Vanzetti sailed the ocean blue and landed up in Boston too. Two good men's a long time gone. Two good men's a long time gone. Two good men's a long time gone. Left me here to sing this song. Sacco's wife 3 children had. Sacco was a family man. Vanzetti was a dreaming man, his book was always in his hands. Sacco earned his bread and butter, being the factory's best shoe cutter. Vanzetti spoke both day and night, told the workers how to fight. Two good men a long time gone, two good men a long time gone, two good men a long time gone, left me here to sing this song. I'll tell you if you ask me about this payroll robbery. Two clerks is killed by the shoe factory on the street in South Braintree. Judge Thayer told his friends around that he had cut the radicals down. Anarchist bastard was the name Judge Thayer called these two good men. I'll tell you the prosecutor's name, Katzman, Adams, Williams, Kane. The judge and lawyer strutted down, they done more tricks than circus clowns. Two good men's a long time gone, two good men's a long time gone, two good men's a long time gone, left me here to sing this song. Vanzetti docked in 1908, slept along the dirty street, told the workers organizing on the electric cherry dyes. All you people ought to be like me and work like Sacco and Vanzetti, and every day find ways to fight on the union side for the workers' rights. Well, I ain't got time to tell this tale. The Dixon Bulls are on my trail, but I'll remember these two good men that died to show me how to live. Two good men's a long time gone, two good men's a long time gone, two good men's a long time gone, left me here to sing this song. All you people in Swasso's Lane, sing this song and sing it plain. All you folks that's coming along, jump in with me and sing this song. It's two good men a long time gone, two good men a long time gone, two good men a long time gone, left me here to sing this song. Sacco, Sacco, ho, ho, Niccolo Sacco, ho, ho, Sacco, Sacco, I just want to sing your name. Sacco, 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 ho, ho, Sacco, Nicola, Sacco, Sacco, I just want to sing your name. Oh, Rosie, Rosie, oh, Miss Rosie Sacco, oh, Rosie, Rosie, I just want to sing your name. I never did see you, I never did get to meet you. I just heard your story, and I just want to sing your name. Hey, hey, Bart Vanzetti, hey, hey, Bart Vanzetti, you made speeches for the workers. Well, I just want to sing your name. Oh, Sacco Vanzetti, oh, Sacco Vanzetti, Sacco, Sacco Vanzetti, I just want to sing your name. Hey, Judge Webster Thayer, ho, ho, Judge Webster Thayer, hey, hey, oh, Judge Webster Thayer, I don't want to sing your name. Bart Vanzetti and a Niccolo Sacco, Bart Vanzetti and a Niccolo Sacco, come here looking for the land of freedom. I just want to sing your name. Vanzetti sold fish around the Plymouth Harbor. Sacco was a shoe factory's best shoe cutter. All of my sons, all of my daughters, they're gonna help me sing your name. Oh, ho, Sacco, Sacco, hey, hey, Bart Vanzetti, your wife and kids and all your family, I just want to sing your name. Oh, Sacco Vanzetti, hey, Sacco Vanzetti, Nicholas Sacco, Bart Vanzetti, I just want to sing your name. Oh, ho, 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 yes, 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 well, I just want to sing your name. Oh, pour me a drink of Italian red wine and let me taste it and call back to mind. Once more in my thoughts and once more in my soul, this story is great, if not greater than all. The AP News on June 24th told about a patrolman named Earl J. Val. Stepped on a Main Street trolley car and arrested Sacco and Vanzetti there. The article tells how Earl J. Val is now retiring as an officer of the law. This cop goes down in my history for arresting Sacco and Vanzetti that day. It was 1920, the 5th of May, the cop and some buddies took these men away. Off of the car and out and down to the jail in Brockton town. There's been a killing and a robbery at the Slater Moral Shoe Factory. You two gents are carrying guns and you dodged the draft when the war did come. Oh yes, 'tis so, 'tis so, 'tis so, we made for the borders of Mexico. The rich man's war we could not fight, so we crossed the border to keep out of sight. You men are known as radical sons, you must be killers, you both carry guns. I'm a night watchman, my friend peddles fish, and he carries his gun when he's got lots of cash. Oh, pour me a glass of Germany's beer, Russia's hot vodka so strong and clear. Pour me a glass of Palestine's hock, or just a moonshiner's bucket of chalk. Now let me think and let me see how these two men were found guilty. How 160 witnesses passed by, and the one that spoke for them was 105. Out of the rest, about 50 just guessed. Out of the 5 that is put to the test, only the story of one held true, and 159 got through. And on this one, uncertain and afraid, she saw the carload of robbers, she said. 1 year later, she remembered his face after seeing this car for a second and a half. She told of his hand and his gun and his ears. She told of his shirt and the cut of his hair. Remembered his eyes and his lips and his cheeks, and Eva's Plains tale sent these men to the chair. I was right there in Boston the night that they died. I never did see such a sight in my life. I thought the crowds would pull down the town, and I was hoping they'd do it and change things around. I hoped they'd pull Judge Thayer on down from off of his bench and they'd chase him around. Hoped they'd run him around the stump and stick him with devil tails about every jump. Wash this tequila down with gin and a double straight shot of your black virgin rum. My ale bubbled out and my champagne is flat. I hear the man coming, I'm grabbing my hat. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to the Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. Swasso's Lane's just an alley up here in old North Plymouth. You saw my fish cart roll here in Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. They say I killed him, said I killed a payroll carrier over there in South Braintree, 35 miles Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to the Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. My name's Lefevre Brinney. On the same day Bart Vanzetti brought fish to the Cherry Court, 1 block from Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to the Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. My name is Joseph Rosen, I am a woolen peddler. I sold Vanzetti a roll of cloth that day in Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to the Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. I miss Alphonsine Brinney. Mr. Rosen and Bart Vanzetti showed me the cloth with a big hole in it, 1 block from Swasso's Lane. It's goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. My name is Melvin Coral, I was painting my fishing schooner. Vanzetti talked to me an hour, about a mile from Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. How could I be in South Braintree killing men there in front of the factory when all these friends and others saw me cart my fish in Swasso's Lane? Well, it's goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. I tell you working people, fight hard for higher wages, fight to kill black market prices, this is why you take my life. I tell you working people, fight hard for cleaner houses, fight hard for the wife and children, that's why they took my life. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to the Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. Swasso's Lane is just an alley up here in old North Plymouth. You saw my fish cart roll here in Swasso's Lane. Goodbye, my comrades, goodbye, my North Plymouth, goodbye to the Boston Harbor, goodbye, Swasso's Lane. You souls of Boston, bow your heads. Our 2 most noble sons are dead. Sacco and Vanzetti both have died and drifted out with the Boston tide. 'Twas on the outskirts of this town some bandits shot 2 pay clerks down on Old Pearl Street in South Braintree, and they grabbed that money and rolled away. Sacco and Vanzetti got arrested then on a trolley car by the plainclothes men, carried down to Brockton jail and laid away in a lonesome cell. The folks in Plymouth town did say Vanzetti sold fish in Swasso's Lane. His fish cart was 32 miles away from Old Pearl Street this fatal day. Sacco's family hugged and kissed their dad, said, "Take this family picture to the passport man." He was in that office 40-odd miles away from Old Pearl Street this fatal day. One lady by the name of Eva Splain saw the robbers jump in the car and drive away. For a second and a half she seen the speeding car, swore Sacco was a bandit man. It was 20 or 30 or 50 more. Said Sacco was not in the robber's car. Judge Webster stared, thugged by Eva Splain, said Sacco was the guilty man. Miss Sacco was heavy then with child. She walked to Sacco's cell and cried. The Morelli gang just down the corridor signed confessions, they killed the payroll guards. We seen Miss Sacco pregnant there. We heard her cry and tear her hair. We had to ease our guilty hearts and admit we killed the payroll guards. Judge Webster Thayer could not allow the Morelli gang's confession to stop him now. Sacco and Vanzetti are union men, and that verdict guilty must come in. The bullet expert took the stand, said the bullets from the bodies of the two dead men could not have been fired from Sacco's gun, nor from Vanzetti's gun have come. It was 63 days this trial did last, 7 dark years come a-crippling past. Locked down in that mean old Charleston jail, then by an electric spark were killed. Old Boston City was a dark old town. That summer's night in August the switch went down. People, they cried and marched and sung, every tongue this world around. You souls of Boston, bow your heads, our 2 most noble sons are dead. Where the People Army marches now to fight, Sacco and Vanzetti'll give us life. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Turn your key and set me free. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Turn your key and set me free. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. The monkey unlocked the courthouse door, and the elephant oiled the hardwood floor. In did jump the kangaroo, and in did hop the rabbits too. Next in come the 2 baboons, next in rolled a dusty storm, next in waddled a polar bear to keep the judge and jury warm. Everybody knows the mockingbird wrote down every word he heard. The lawyers all were foxy sly, with a foxy nose and a foxy eye. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Turn your key and set me free. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Well, the possum used a big stiff broom, and he polished a new spittoon. Up did smile a crocodile, said, here comes the jury down the aisle. Old Mama Catfish asked the trout, what's this trial here all about? Little baby suckerfish upped and said, the judge just caught him a couple of reds. Well, the rattlesnake asked the bumblebee, who's the Sacco and Vanzetti? Are they the men, asked the mama quail, that shot the clerks at the Slater mill? The mosquito sung out with his wings, said, I was there and seen the whole darn thing. Saw the robbers fire their guns, but I didn't see these men, neither one. Old Judge Thayer, take your shackles off of me. Well, old Judge Thayer, take your shackles off of me. Turn your key and set me free. Old Judge Thayer, take your shackle off of me. Well, the big-eyed owl looked around, and he said that Sacco's cap was found down on Pearl Street on the ground, where the payroll guards both got shot down. That cap don't fit on Sacco's head, the big black crow flapped up and said, they tried that cap on Sacco here, and it fell down around both his ears. Well, the camel asked the old giraffe, did these 2 fellers duck the draft? We're running down below the Mexican line to keep from fighting on the rich man's side. The lumber duck did rattle his bill, all the ducks and geese are flying still down toward Mexico's warm sun to try to dodge the rich man's gun. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Old Judge Thayer, take a shackle off of me. Turn your key and set me free. Old Judge Thayer, take your shackle off of me. Up diddle waddle a loosey goose, I think these men ought to be turned loose. But old Judge Swear is swore to his friends, these men'll get a chair of the noose. When the guilty verdict came and 7 years in jail they laid, when these 2 men there did die, the animals met on the earth and sky. See what fear and greed can do, see how it killed these sons so true. Us varmints has got to get together too, before Judge Thayer kills me and you. I'm standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, where men like you have stood. I see the tourist, Vanzetti, around your Plymouth's rock. Black glasses, sun goggles and glasses, smoke glasses to block out the light. I see 'em come here as you seen 'em, but I see lots more than you saw. I see 'em in fast-running cars, you seen 'em in wagons and carts. I'm standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, where men like you have stood. These tourists don't see you, Vanzetti, the salesmen and gamblers on tour. Your footprints are dim and your trail is sprung weeds, and their tourist map don't show you there. The trade union workers, Vanzetti, we'll vacation here and we'll tour this rock and this town and Plymouth around, when statues have souls like yours. I'm standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, where men like you have stood. Your picture is painted, Vanzetti, your words are carved round the frames. Your songs and your poems and working folks' dreams will flame with our greatest of names. Your name I'll paint on my pointers, my streets, my mountains and shops. Your hopes that you hoped and the dreams that you dreamt, I'll see that your work never stops. I'm standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, where men like you have stood. Those talks for the workers, Vanzetti, I'll chisel them down on the rock. I'll tell every worker to fight like you fought, like the pilgrims that docked on this rock. I'll scatter your words on my waters to the ships and the fishes and gulls. I'll cast your fish cart in metal so fine and push it around this world. I'm standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, where men like you have stood. Standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, standing on the rock, Vanzetti, where men like you have stood. The year it is 1927, and the day is the 3rd day of May. Town is a city called Boston, and our address is Dark Dedham Jail. To your honor, the Governor Fuller, to the Council of Massachusetts State, we Bartolomeo Vanzetti and Nicholas Sacco do say, confined to our jail here at Dedham, and under the sentence of death, we pray you to exercise your powers and look at the facts of our case. We do not ask you for a pardon would admit of our guilt. Since we are both innocent workers, we have no guilt to admit. We are both born by parents in Italy, can't speak English too well. Our friends of labor are writing these words back of the bars in our cell. Our friends say if we speak too plain, sir, we may turn your feelings away, widen these canyons between us, but we risk our life to talk plain. We think, sir, that each human being is in close touch with all of man's kind. Think, sir, that each human being knows right from the wrong in his mind. We talk to you here as a man, sir, even knowing our opinions divide. We didn't kill the guards at South Braintree, nor dream of such a terrible crime. We call your eye to this fact, sir. We work with our hand and our brain. These robberies and killings were done, sir, by professional bandit men. Sacco has been a good cutter. Miss Sacco their money has saved. I, Vanzetti, I could have saved money, but I gave it as fast as received. I'm a dreamer, a speaker, and a writer. I fight on the working folks' side. Sacco is Boston's fastest shoe trimmer, and he talks to the husbands and wives. We hunted your land and we found it, hoped we'd find freedom of mind. Built up your land, this land of the free, and this is what we come to find. We was the killers, good governor, we'd not be so dumb and so blind to pass out our handbills and make worker speeches out here by the scene of the crime. Those 15,000s of dollars the lawyers and judge said we took, do we, sir, dress up like a two gentlemen with that much in our pocketbook? Our names on the long list of radicals of the federal government, sir. They said that we needed watching as we peddled our literature. Judge Thayer's mind is made up, sir. When we walked into the court, well, he called us anarchistic bastards, said lots of other things worse. They brought people down there to Brockton to look through the bars of our cell, made us act out the emotions of the killers, and still not so many could tell. Before the trial ever started, the jury foreman did say, and he cussed us and said, damn, they'd ought to hang anyway. Our fatal mistake was carrying our guns, about which we had to tell lies, to keep the police from raiding the homes of workers believing like us. A labor paper or a picture, a letter from a radical friend, an old cheap gun like you keep around home to torture good women and men. We all feared deporting and whipping, torments to make us confess. The place where the workers are meeting, the house, your name and address. Well, the officers said we feared something which they called a consciousness of guilt. We was afraid of wrecking more homes and seeing more workers' blood spilt. Well, the very first question they asked us was not about killing the clerks. but things about our labor movement and how our trade union works. Oh, how could our jury see clearly when the lawyers and judges and cops called us low-type Italians, said we look just like regular wops. Draft dodgers, gun packers, anarchists, these vulgar-sounding names blew dust in the eyes of the jurors, the crowd in the courtroom the same. We do not believe, sir, the torture, beatings and killings and pains will lift man's eyes to a highest view and break his bilboes and chains. We believe that you must struggle for freedom. Before your freedom you'll gain freedom from fear, sir, and greed, sir, and your freedom to think higher things. This fight, sir, is not a new battle. We did not make it last night. 'Twas fought by Godwin, Shelley, Piscani, Tolstoy, and Christ. It's bigger than the atoms and the sands of the desert, planets that roll in the sky. Till workers get rid of their robbers, well, it's worser to live than to die. Your Excellency, we're not asking pardon, but asking to be set free, with liberty and pride, sir, and honor, and a pardon we will not receive. A pardon you give unto criminals who've broken the laws of the land. We don't ask you for pardon, sir, because we are innocent men. Well, if you shake your head no, dear Governor, course our doom it is sealed. We hold up our heads like two sons of men, 7 years in these cells of steel. We walk down this corridor to death, sir, like workers have walked it before, but we'll work in our working class struggle if we live 1,000 lives more. Root hog and I, friend, root hog and I, gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, so I've gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Train wheel can roll me, cushions can ride, ships on the oceans, planes in the skies. Storms they can come, love, floodwaters rise, but I've gotta get to Boston or 2 men will die. Root hog and I, friend, root hog and I, gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, so I've gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Nicola Sacco, a shoe factory hand, Bartolomeo Vanzetti, a trade union man. Judge Webster Thayer swore they'll die, but I've gotta get to Boston for sundown tonight. Root hog and I, friend, root hog and I, gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, so I've gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. I might walk or run and I might roll or fly, walking down this road shoulder, tears in my eyes. They never done a wrong in their lives, but Judge Webster Thayer says they must die. Root hog and I, friend, root hog and I, gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, so I've gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Well, some come to Boston to see all the sights, some come to Boston to drink and to fight. Sacco and Vanzetti told the workers organize, so Judge Webster Thayer says they must die. Root hog and I, friend, root hog and I, gotta get to Boston, root hog and I. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, gotta get to Boston, root hog or dry. Oh, Mr. Wagon Driver, please let me ride. That's a nice pacing team that you got here, all right. Did you ever hear such a thing in your life? Judge Webster, Thayer killing 2 men tonight. Root hog and die, friend, root hog and die. Gotta get to Boston, root hog and die. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, so I've gotta get to Boston, root hog or die. Hey, Mr. Engineer, let me ride your train. Throw in your coal and steam up your steam. If I can't ride the shack, please let me ride the blind. Gotta get to Boston for sundown tonight. Root hog and die, friend, root hog and die. Gotta get to Boston, root hog and die. Sacco and Vanzetti die at sundown tonight, so I've gotta get to Boston, root hog and die. We welcome to heaven Sacco and Vanzetti, 2 men that's won our highest of seats. Come, let me show you this world that you've come through. It's a funny old world, and I'm sure you'll admit. If you wear rags on earth, you're a hobo, and if you wear satin, they call you a thief. If you save money, they'll call you a miser, and if you spend money, you'll go on relief. If you work hard, they'll say you are lowly, and if you're a loafer, of course you're no good. If you stay sober, you're known as a sissy, and if you drink liquor, it goes to your head. If you are fat, they will call you a glutton, and if you stay skinny, they'll call you a runt. If you laugh, they'll call you an idiot, and if you cry, they'll ask you to stop. If you chase women, they'll call you a woofer, and if you don't chase them, they'll call you afraid. If you chase men, they'll call you downtrodden, and if you don't chase them, they'll call you afraid. If you eat your meat fried, they'll tell you to broil it, and then if you broil it, they'll say it should broil. If you don't eat meat and you eat only green things, they'll ask you what's wrong with the brain in your skull. If you work for wages, you support the rich capitalist, and if you don't work, you're a lumpen to them. And if you play the gamble, of course you're a gambler, and if you don't gamble, you never do win. And if you stay poor, nobody comes courting, and if you get rich, well, you can't find a mate. If you get married, you're wrecking your happiness, and if you stay single, you walk to your grave. If you die in your cradle, it's a sad misfortune. If you live to old age, it's harder and worse. If you've read the papers, you know it is many that take their own lives when they've emptied their purse. There's traders and trappers and shippers and hopers, Sacco and Vanzetti in America's great lands. There's hoppers and croppers and robbers and dopers, and millions of folks with just 2 empty hands. It's a funny old world, Sacco and Vanzetti, and a funny old world for me and for you. I'd say that this world is so awful funny. It's the funniest world that I've ever lived through.
If nothing happens, they will electrocute us right after midnight. Therefore here I am, right with you, with love and with open heart, as I was yesterday. Don't cry, Dante, for many, many tears have been wasted, as your mother's tears have been already wasted for 7 years and never did any good. So, son, instead of crying, be strong, be brave, so as to be able to comfort your mother. And when you want to distract her from the discouraging soulness, you take her for a long walk in the quiet countryside, gathering flowers here and there, and resting under the shade of trees, beside the music of the waters, the peacefulness of nature. She will enjoy it very much, and you will surely too. But son, you must remember, don't use all yourself. Let down yourself just one step to help the weak ones at your side. The weaker ones that cry for help, the persecuted and the victim, they are your friends, friends of yours and mine. They are the comrades that fight, yes, and sometimes fall, just as your father and Bartolo have fallen, have fought and fell yesterday for the conquest of joy, of freedom for all. In the struggle of life you'll find more love, and in the struggle you will be loved also.